Fáilte Rashkadi Bloom 2025. Brian Burke is back with us. Brian, just about holding dry?
Just about holding dry, Deric. I have faith. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. I tell you, the sun's going to shine.
Yeah, hopefully. Now, we have a busy hour ahead. What are we doing?
What are we doing? We're going to be talking seaweed-based plant feed. We're going to be talking granular feed for the more established garden. Everyone's familiar with liquid feed. We're talking granular for the more established garden. We're also talking slug and snail protection. The bane of a lot of gardeners' lives is the old slugs. We're going to be talking about low-impact organic ways to deal with them. And we'll do a non-stop tour of the show gardens.
Show gardens as well. OK, so we're going to be catching up with Brian and, of course, the Nature Safe team. That's coming your way at 8:45. But for now, back to studio.
You're very welcome back to Ireland AM now all morning. Our Deric has been down at the Bloom Festival at Phoenix Park.
Yeah, he's been potting plants and making the most of the warm weather, and now it's time for him to show us what he's learned.
How's it going, Deric?
Yeah, good morning, team. The sun is shining. Welcome down here to Bloom in the Phoenix Park in Dublin. We're having a gorgeous morning down here at the Nature Safe tent. Gardener Brian Burke is back with us. And Brian, before we get into potting, planting, feeding, all that good stuff, let's talk about Bloom 2025. We're into day 2 now.
We're into day 2. It's really ramping up. I mean, it's some event. It's a mecca for gardeners, as we all know. It's synonymous with the June Bank Holiday weekend. People plan their trip well in advance. If you've any interest in gardening, no matter where you live, it could be a balcony, could be a small space, could be a big rural area, this is the place to come for ideas, for inspiration, because look around, your mind will be blown.
Yeah, it's spread over 70 acres, so it's quite big, Brian.
Yeah, it's a big site, yeah, and it's a beautiful setting, like it's a beautiful rustic setting. The walled garden behind us here, the old Victorian walled garden, provides a beautiful backdrop for the show garden arena. You know, it couldn't be more appropriate.
And there's something for everyone, I suppose, isn't there?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, a lot of events, you know, will lay claim to this idea of something for everyone. Bloom can legitimately make that claim from 8 to 90. You know, there's kids area, there's fashion, there's food, there's artisan food, there's retail area, there's the floral pavilion, and the jewel in the crown is the show garden.
And let's talk about them because they're absolutely magnificent, aren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, again, talk about inspiration. If you have a garden and you want ideas, this is the place to come. I mean, for me, the big ones this year are the shade planting. There's an idea out there that shade planting has to be dull and uninteresting. There's several gardens up there are platforming some really interesting ideas around shade planting, outside structures, you know, different species of timber, different ideas, different ways of going about things. Balcony gardening. There's a Cornelia Raftery has built a beautiful balcony garden up there. A lot of us now live in apartments, small space. We have that confined space and the ability to pack it, go vertical, go horizontal, go every way on a balcony and create a little miniature ecosystem. It kind of bucks this idea that you can't do anything on a balcony. You can.
You can, yeah. Now, right, in front of us here, we're talking about the larger gardens. And let's talk through some of the plants that we have here this morning, starting with the foxglove.
Foxglove digitalis, beautiful biennial, synonymous with this, you know, summer flowering. Biennial will live for 2 years. First year we'll put on that rosette of leaves, then stem will elongate in year 2, the flowers will form, set seed, and then it'll die away. But the seeds will persevere and it'll come again the following year.
Yeah, so that's a biennial, so you only get 2 years out of it, really.
2
and
years.
the flower in the second year.
Exactly.
But it's a beautiful flower, isn't it?
It's a striking, very synonymous with the cottage garden. You know, this idea of the flowering border, and it's becoming a big constituent now of a mixed planting bed as well, you know.
Now, moving on next to the hydrangea.
Hydrangea petiolaris, I love this. This is a self-clinging climber, will tolerate shade, beautiful for an east-facing, west-facing or north-facing wall. Deciduous, produces a white flower and then the peeling bark later in the year.
Okay, over here then to the hostia, isn't that it?
Hosta,
beautiful one. Hosta, yeah.
Hosta, this is a ubiquitous perennial. Anyone into gardening will be familiar with the hosta. Problem with them is, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, can be a target for slugs. And how do you deal with that? Yeah, they love it. This is like an all-you-can-eat buffet for slugs. You know?
Will this grow very tall?
Not really, Deric. It'll get to about there and it'll produce that white flower for about 2 weeks, a little bit later in the summer.
Yeah, now, moving next to this one. A lot of us are used to drinking this one at the bar Saturday night, but tell us about this plant.
That's Sambucus nigra. It's very interesting. That'll get to about 5 metres. A really interesting specimen plant to anchor a corner. If you had a corner in the garden at Sambucus like that would be a really good. Anyone who lives in the Midlands and is familiar with Emo Court, the walled garden in Emo Court, there are several of beautiful mature specimens of those in that walled garden. Fabulous plant.
Is this related to the elderflower?
Yes, elder. Yeah. It's a black elder. Yeah, that will produce blackberries later in the year.
Okay.
And that creamy flower there.
Okay, gorgeous. Now, moving on next to this beauty.
Choicea Ternata Sundance. Starts off yellow and deepens to green. Beautiful scent off it. Yeah, absolutely, and a beautiful evergreen, a really good constituent again of a mixed planting border, and a really popular plant to provide, structure and stability in a mixed bed throughout the year because it's evergreen.
Now, I have one of these at home as well, the Acer, gorgeous plant, isn't it?
Yeah, the Acer palmatum, Japanese maple. It's a real go-to tree for a smaller garden. It's not going to get too big, get to about 5 metres, and the foliage will change colour as the year progresses. That's a beautiful thread leaf, delicate leaf on this particular one. This one is called Phoenix.
And it goes lovely in red in around September, October, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The maples all change colour. It's a really beautiful spectacle that time of the year.
Now, Brian, moving on to feeding, and this is really important, especially have bigger plants.
Absolutely. So again, we're talking about seaweed-based plant food, the Nature Safe range. Fabulous success story, west of Ireland, Ormore County, Galway. Cold-pressed seaweed harvested along the Connemara coastline. Everyone is familiar with the liquid feed, right, for pots and containers, but it comes in a granular form. Absolutely. So
and this is all organic, Brian?
This is all organic, low-impact, hand-harvested, cold-pressed, so there's no chemicals, no high temperatures used in the harvesting of it or in the processing of it, which means it retains all its goodness, all those amino acids, all those enzymes, all those macro and micronutrients, all that goodness that transmits itself down into the soil. This is really good for larger areas. So about 100 grams of that is going to cover a square metre. So the granular feed is what you want for more established plants.
We were talking about slugs and snails. In fact, I use this one at home. Tell us about this product.
This is fabulous. This is crushed oyster shell, right? So oyster shells are a byproduct of the food industry. We talk a lot about sustainability. We talk a lot about circularity. This is the circular economy in motion. We're taking what's essentially a waste product and turning it into something useful for gardeners, right? So the bane of gardeners' lives is big leaf plants like hosta.
Now you put this around the base of it,
You put this and form a nice perimeter.
Okay, so this won't kill the snails, it'll just deter them from crossing over.
It'll deter them. They'll feel the texture of that and they won't go any further. And this is also going to transmit calcium, magnesium and nitrogen down into the soil. It's a fabulous low impact, sustainable, replenishable product.
Absolutely lovely.
And it's solving a big problem for gardeners.
Where are you going to be right across the weekend?
I'm going to be all over, Deric. I'm going to spend most of my time up in the show garden arena because I'm blown away by some of the ideas up there.
Brian, really interesting here this morning. hygea.ie for more information online. But for me and all the crew, the sun is shining, guys, down at Bloom here in the Phoenix Park. Back to studio. That is a great idea. I'm actually loving this one.
Beautiful, doesn't it?
You need the sun shining if you're going to Bloom.
I can't believe they got the sun. That's Deric's magic work now.
That's it. He's manipulated a few satellites, had a word in the shell-like of somebody very important. Time now for a quick break, but still to come, we'll be sitting down with the esteemed journalist who'll always be known for her work on Podge and Rog. Maya Dunphy will be joining us soon.
We've also got some summer sportswear on the catwalk, and we're rounding up your latest showbiz headlines.
Ireland AM will be right back after this break.